Yo, 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 what is up, chat? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. What up, Joda? What up, Badger? What up, Boom? What up, Yashun? Good to see you. How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome. All right. Oh my god, chat. The UK is too hot right now. I'm not coping. I'm not coping. Bring back the cold weather, please. I'm cooking. I'm very good, thank you. What up, Evie? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you all. Okay. So, we've got a couple of things we're going to get into today. Ready for... Make sure we got everything covered. Oh, mate. It is mad hot today. Okay. So, we're going to get straight into this. I don't want to... Basically, we got a lot to decide on the server. Some things have already been decided. And we need to get this going with some of the topics we got to cover today. We got to get everything covered so that we can just get back in action. All right. Now, a quick little brief on why it's currently going down the path that it's going. Basically, I made a mistake. It is completely my fault. I hold my hands up. I launched the server too early. I launched it in the hope that we would be able to gradually progress while implementing changes. The problem is, the changes that I wanted to implement are a large part of the server. So it just meant, essentially, the need for some of those features wouldn't be needed at the stage that many people were hitting very fast. So what we need to do is we need to correct this issue now before it gets too late, before, you know, before it becomes too big of an issue. I'd rather nip it in the bud now, figure out all the changes that we want, and be able to launch again with a more accurate and a more planned server. So I've got a bunch of topics here that I've been noting down. I'm going to keep adding to it as we're going and as I'm thinking of them. We're going to get this settled. So, the server has been down. It's been down for, what, like 5 days? Something like that. And, the reason it's been down is because we had to get some of these major changes put in, make a better plan for it, and start rolling it out. By the way, I'm sorry I'm 30 minutes late. I went to KFC and they took ages to bring my food out. Then I had to eat. Anyway. So we've got a lot of things to cover today and we're going to fly through them. So I'm not going to be doing a crazy long stream just because a lot of the stuff that we are doing is gonna be kind of a surprise, and also a lot of it is just behind the scenes stuff, so there's not really a lot to show you. Now, we haven't really been focusing anything like building on the server. That's all gonna be done, you know, when the server's up. That's fine. We can do that with everybody else in there. But what we have been planning is a lot of things like the businesses. The player-run shops is a big feature that I definitely want implemented. And I want it to be a big part of the server. And, as I said, as people were progressing so fast, it basically got to a point where the shops were kind of pointless. What's the point in having shops? If everybody can do everything, if everybody has everything, sure, it would be good for, like, new players. But for the most part, majority of the community is in the server. And majority of the community has been sinking a big amount of hours into it. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. What up, Reaper? Audio's off. Hi. Okay. Okay. So, let's get through these topics then. Now, Which one should we start with? I'll tell you what we'll start with. I am going to be heading into the live voice chat. I'm going to go in there now. If you have any comments, any thoughts, any opinions, any worries, anything that you need to share, the more information I can get from you guys today, the sooner we can launch the server again. And I'm planning, the hope, my absolute hope, is that we can launch it again tomorrow. That's my plan. And I think that's absolutely doable. But to do that, I need as many opinions and stuff from you guys as I can get. Hey, Coffee. And I've already got a few. We got a few put into the comments on the Palworld server section. So we're going to go through these as well. So feel free to add some in there or join the waiting room and come and chat. And we can discuss anything and everything. Okay. So before we get started then, before we start ticking off through these lists, a big shout out to Joda. Joda's been my behind the scenes admin. And we have been putting in some crazy work. Crazy work. For sure, Joda. For sure. We've been putting in some crazy work to make sure that we can improve massively on what was previously there. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing about the shops. Everything is just too easy to get, at least in the beginning. Figuring out shops in a small world is a tricky one. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Can't hear a blasted thing. Turn your audio up. Yeah, so shops is a big one. Shops is a big one. And that is going to be one of the main things we're going to cover today. And then I'm going to drop a bit of a bombshell. Okay. A little bit. Hey, Reaper, how's it going, bro? Can you say turn it up? True. I did wave. Hey, Mystica. Okay. So I'm going to start off by going through the comments in the Discord section. I think that's a good place to start. Alright, so our first one is from Noctum. A few thoughts after watching today's stream and reading the chats. I mean, it's not really been much of a secret, but you can try. If there are strict limits placed on base size / power count, that would give a distinct advantage to those businesses that produce supplies, such as building materials or food. Alright, now there is a lot of points in this, so... No, nothing like that, Coffee. No. All server talk. There is a lot of points in this, so I'm going to cover one thing at a time, alright? So, the first point is, if there is strict limits placed on base size / power count, that would give a distinct advantage to those businesses that produce supplies such as building materials or food. Okay. Yes, you are absolutely correct with that. But it would give a disadvantage to other resources. So, I do believe we do need to figure out a right point where everything can be going good as well. So the way that would even itself out is, let's say, for example, you run a business and your business is based on making food, right? That's going to be your business. You have a base or whatever dedicated to making food. You absolutely would then have the advantage in food over another player. But then let's say another player, their business is ammo, right? They would then have the advantage in ammo. Yeah, going with your point. But the ammo would then have the disadvantage in food, and food would have the disadvantage in ammo. So that's where the businesses would meet, you know? You would work it together. So I agree and I slightly disagree. You're right with exactly everything you're saying. The only thing that isn't quite correct there is the building materials. Most building materials is like stone, wood. None of that. No one's going to run a stone or wood business. There's just going to be no point. Currency-wise, fair trade or gold? Great question. Both in a way. So one thing I can say for that now is our confirmed currency is going to be dog coins. Now, the way this is going to work is when you join the server, you will be given a chunk of dog coins. May only be small, but you could use them however you want to use them. It will only be, like, say, for example, you're given 100 dog coins when you start. You could go check out the player-run businesses and use those dog coins, or save them up, do what you want to do with them. You can then come to me to get quests, and I will decide on your quests with chat. That gives people who are not in the server some interaction with the server as well. We would decide on what quest suits you for your level and your point of progress. So, for example, if you come and ask for a quest and you are level 5, I might say, bring me, I don't know, bring me 100 stone. Won't be that easy, but bring me 100 stone and I'll give you 10 more dog coins. That's an example. If you come to me at level 55, you're not going to get sent on an easy one like that. You might have to go and get a, capture a jet dragon or something like that. Then you would be given more dog coins. This means you could essentially constantly earn dog coins, save them up, become rich. You can do that. I now have, and so will other admins that I bring on, I now have an unlimited supply of dog coins. I will not use them. I will not use them for my benefit. Anything that we essentially now have a little admin area. Sorry, I'm just sweating out my face right now. It's so hot. Hey, chat tree. I will not use any of the admin stuff, and it would be a rule that no admin is able to use any of the admin stuff for personal use, gain, or anything. It would be a trusted position and would pretty much only be me doing it anyway. I will earn my own money as part of the server. I will just also be able to hand some out when's needed. This also means when we run events, for example, if we run a obstacle course, at the end of the obstacle course is a chest. There's some goodies in the chest. This allows a reward base, so we're able to hand out rewards, or, you know, whatever it may be. So, but the point of fair trade will also be an option. So, for example, like there being limitations with you know, if someone only makes food, they're going to have the advantage in food, for sure, but then they're going to have no ammo. So perhaps they could work out a fair trade with the ammo builders, you see? So fair trade, absolutely. That will just be you can do that whenever you like. Limit incubator, I'm getting to that as well. I'm going to add it to my... I'm going to add anything you put to my list, just so I don't get lost. You know what I'm like? I'll get distracted. Okay. So yes, dog coins. Dog coins are going to be a big part of the server. And yeah, we have managed to crash the server with the amount of dog coins. If you require the entirety of your PAL workforce to craft or refine products such as spheres or equipment or breeding, then you have no method other than trade to obtain raw materials. While I understand that trade is the goal, it would allow the suppliers of resources to fix prices and have outsized control on the economy. Yes, I do agree with that if it's not done correctly. But this is where we need to decide how we're going to do the business. And I personally think the best way to do this is to have a limitation on the amount of bases. Where you would have your main base, you could then have a business base. Or something like that. But we'll get to that. But we don't want to make it hard for you to just be able to just play without running a business. We don't want to do that either. But we do also want it to be a point where you have to, for example, rotate pals out. Having 15 pals to automate everything in the game at once is completely unnecessary. And it means as well you can just focus everything at once, and you know, you're progressing everything in the game at once. So I don't think having a limitation on pals, the only time things like food might be a bit scarce for all your pals is because you're running 15 bosses, all gathering different resources. If you have to rotate them out and play a bit smarter, not only are you then going to use less food, but it's going to also make you think about what you're doing a bit more instead of pal, go, sleep, you know? Distracted, yes. Try diving into those dog coins like Scrooge McDuck. Need to confirm if they're liquid or solid. I usually focus a lot more on resources production like ore, mining, and lumber. And you can absolutely do that. It just may not be a very profitable business if you try to run that as a shop. You technically could, because if you think about it, you could be smart with it and say 10,000 wood for, and someone could buy that for 10 dog coins. Not saying that that would be good prices, but I'm just saying you could do that if you wanted to. But everyone will also be able to gather those resources, so you'll have to then rely on the lazy players like myself that will buy everything. Okay. Limit incubators and reduce timer on hatching from what it was previously, please. Yeah, so in terms of the incubators, I believe a nice kind of a point would be the lower the time it takes to hatch, the less incubators we allow players to have. I think that's the best way to do it. I'm not saying I like the 72 hours, but if you're going to have 15 incubators, then I say we double that. You know? If we say 1 incubator, I'm happy to drop it down to a matter of a couple of hours. You know? Or whatever, you know. I think that's one thing we need to decide on. And right now I'm going to spitball through all of these comments, and then we're going to go through and get some definitive answers, so then I can head off stream, get them all in place, boom. Hey Sophie, how's it going? 0.1 XP. We will agree on XP rates, but I'm kind of heading towards that way as well. Yeah, my antibiotics are here. Allergies are that bad this year. Oh, really? About thinking of selling eggs, your thoughts? Eggs would be great, especially if you were able to think of putting, let's say, like a... if you were able to pretty much... If it was like an egg that you've been breeding from some max bred pals, so you know that it's going to be pretty close to a max bred pal, then you'd be able to offer different prices because you know what's inside the egg. So perhaps then you could have a separate part, which is like a random egg for not very many, you know, not very many dog coins. Do it like that. But yeah, anything. I think anything can be a business. I like the idea of you thinking, how could I make the dog coins? Kind of like a real business, right? How could I? You can make money with anything in the game. Have you got all the main pals? On my main, yes. Not in the server. I think unless you plan on putting in 40 plus hours a week, add mining this server each week, and you can automate them or have a large team, this may be too labor intensive to work. Wait, sorry, what? I think unless you plan on putting in a 40 plus hour week, add mining this server each week, or you can automate them and have a large team, as maybe too labor intensive to work. Well, it's an invite only server, so it would you have to agree to the rules to get in. There will be moderators going around the map. It won't just be myself. And yeah, essentially, you know, I understand there will be areas that I'm not able to fully moderate, but the point is, you can go and play, like, why play a harder Palworld server when there is already hundreds of servers out there? You know? You come in here for that interactive experience, for that harder Palworld, more longevity world. So, and realistically, if you get caught doing something that you agreed that you wouldn't do, you get the old boot, you know? I would say 1 incubator per person in the guild. Okay, I like that. I hope I'm not late. Hello everyone. Hey Chewy. How's it going? Equals these ideas. Gotcha, gotcha. As for bases, make an identification on bases. Mandatory. Signs over methods. 1 base per guild. Any other base would be for moving, fighting, raid boss, something temporary or something. I like that idea, for sure, for sure. I'm missing 2 of the raid bosses. Oh, Ryu and, sorry, Blazema and, Bell. You're trying to get a fit in the box. I meant to say your ideas for the economy are going to be labor intensive. Oh, it's okay. What's labor intensive about it? Sorry. Raid bosses should be done as a guild. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, to be honest, you might have to. I think it's going to be too hard to do them with our settings. Now, you're all good, CR, you're all good. I'm just trying to understand what you mean fully. Harder game, but more community interaction and teamwork. Absolutely. All game economies are labor intensive. Absolutely, and it's not going to be crazy, right? Like, it's just going to be a case of, like, you want dog coins because you're going to be able to buy good things with them. For example, you don't have to bother with the breeding process. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. I max bred every POW in the game on my main. And some of them multiple times to have the best versions of each POW, right? I do not want to ever breed another POW again. It's just not for me. I could be misunderstanding, but didn't you say you would be the one rolling out quests and gold to everyone? I would be rolling out the quests and the gold that people are going to start with, yes. I probably won't stay as the only one doing it. I'm going to have other admins available. I just more need to... I'm kind of thinking maybe use something like a generator of some kind. Like maybe some sort of bot that would generate a quest. Or something like that. But yeah, it wouldn't just be me. And I do understand that it's going to be a little bit tough, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And it doesn't have to stay as me, right? I could... If it builds up to where there's these big guilds going on, then we could have, say, 1 person per guild, right? Say something like that. Then that guild would get given essentially like a bank amount. And they would obviously have to agree that they will not use those dog coins for their personal gain. That's to help their guild achieve their little personal things. Obviously, this is all very much on a trust basis. That's why everyone will be very carefully picked. So I would like, for example, to be able to give a chunk of dog coins to somebody for the purpose of being able to give out quests. So essentially there's 24 hours of being able to go and get and give in a quest. So it may be a bit hard to start with, but we will absolutely get there. And yeah, I do technically already have 2 admins. Boom Baby and Joda are both technically admins already, but I need to just go through the process with them as well, and I want to do it all properly. But you're right, it is going to be a little bit tricky, but we're going to get there. Maybe 3 hatcheries per player within a guild instead of 1. I'm happy to do that, but I can then see all the hatching time not changing that much. Yeah, we can sort that, Boom Baby. The only admin area we've made it at the moment is, in fact, I could actually just show you a little bit, give you a little sneak peek. The fortress. This fortress here. This fortress here. You want a cheeky peek? Oh. Want a cheeky peek? Oh. Oh. Basically, that is going to be the area of our prizes for our events for our dog coins. That's going to help what's going to run the economy, essentially. The powers will be gone from there. They are just helping us while we gather up a bunch of resources. Because it won't just be like dog coins and stuff. It will also be like, oh, like this is a cool idea, right? So I thought, what if we, one day, me and a couple of admins got on, even if we just shut the server down for like 10 minutes, and then we hid chests around the map with like some resources in them, some dog coins, whatever it may be. And then we tell everybody, there's hidden chests out there, go. And then if you find them, you get some cool stuff. And it could just be like pretty much any resource in the game. You might get a stack of it, that kind of thing. I think that would be quite a fun thing to do as well. So we essentially have like unlimited of every resource in the game in that area there. How hard will dog coins will be to achieve? So, dog coins, the reason we kind of settled on dog coins is because you can go and earn dog coins by yourself. You can catch mimogs and you can pick up the little things on the floor. But it's very slow. So, if you want to, you can, or you come and get some quests. And, you know, and you'll be able to get dog coins faster than you'll be able to in the game by doing that. Or run a business where you sell stuff to collect dog coins as well. So technically, they can be as hard as you want it to be. They can be as easy as you want it to be. If you want to make it super hard, you can go and pick up all the trash piles and capture mimogs. The way the game intended. But that's going to suck to get enough to buy the breeder's maxed out jet dragon. If they put, say, 10k dog coins on that, that's going to take you a long time. Whereas you could come get some quests. You know, maybe we have different difficulty tiers of quests. For more points, that kind of thing. So, easy and hard. Sorry, I am trying to, if only I could set up a... That's the thing we like though, Yashoin. We don't want people to be able to farm them like that. That's why we took it away from normal gold. Gold is too easy to earn. Like, you know, you kill a black merchant and you get like 16k gold. So dog coins is essentially a similar thing. You can still go get them normally, but it's just a bit more of a level playing field. A bit harder to get. I don't have admin access like Joda though. Yeah, we will. We sort that. I want absolutely nothing to do with handling the server resources. I would absolutely end up with some myself if I did. The thing is, the admin resources won't be used often enough for me to need other people to run them. Only the dog coins, potentially. The rest will just be like little events we run, the weekend, live events, things like that. I don't love it more. I love you both. I love that church. Yeah, it's cool up there. Maybe dedicated breeders could pay for a license to allow for additional hatcheries. Oh, I quite like that idea. I'm gonna hit that Max Condensed Dizimu and get them all. Oh, he's my favorite. Honestly, he's become my favorite pal. Sounds like a fun idea. It's just little fun community things, right? I'm basically a pal of all the stuff I'm crafting. Yeah, Joe's basically my little Cativa right now, just up there crafting away. One of us, one of us, one of us. Mystica! Hey, thank you very much, Mystica. Thank you for becoming a member. Let's get a heart spam for Mystica, please. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Okay, ban for cheating and mods not approved. That's the point. You said you wanted it to take a long time, so farming them naturally would slow it down a lot. Yeah, but I also think we just then up the prices a bit, right? So we like, and you could decide. You could decide on what you want to sell them for. By Reaper, you could decide what you want to sell them for. But yeah, that's kind of what we want. Is yes, for it to be a bit slower, and there is faster ways to get them. But you would then just try and even the prices out a bit to make it kind of match the grind. For example, gathering up 5k natural, someone had said I could buy a max bred Ragnarhawk for 2k dog coins. Hey, if they want to do those prices, it's down to them. But when they see the prices of other stuff that people might have up, it might change a bit. I'm thinking of running a shop myself and using it as the admin economy. So I wouldn't gain anything from it, but you're able to buy stuff that is very hard to get in the game. Because I would have the admin powers to put them there. So, let's say, for example, the XL training, you know, the XP, XL gold ones? Like them kind of thing, right? Or like gold coins, gold keys. Things like that, right? There could be like an admin shop, which helps put the money back into the admin side, which obviously would just go back out to the economy, that kind of stuff. Yeah, the XL training manuals, like, they're pretty hard to farm, but not for an admin. So, if there was like an admin shop, you guys would have access to stuff like that that's harder to normally come across. You know? So, you know the medal merchant? How he sells like kind of harder stuff to get? Could essentially sell stuff like that. I only sell my max spread Ragnarholics for dog coins. Way to do it. Way to do it. Okay. Sorry, let me, ladies, Baja. Alright, let me go on to the next part here. This is still Noctum's comment, by the way. This is because refined items like spheres, perfect pals, or top tier gear are all nice to have. People who wish to get resources are able to do things by hand, and there are no mechanics or no mechanisms that currently exist in the game to limit the gatherers to the same level as the producers. Sure, but the gatherers would only be able to gather up to a certain point before it kind of becomes slower. Especially if you've only got a limited amount of pals in the base. Oh, dog coins, my bad. At this point, there is no way pricing items because this is practically new concepts here. Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to sell them for what you want to do, what you want to make money for. I like the idea of having a license to breed. Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. Have our own little Peter. Goes around shutting down illegal breeding farms. Yeah, gatherers will be able to gather what they want, but they still got the limited amount of pals. So if you were to run a business, maybe you get an extra base. You see? Like, there's ways we can even this out. I think it would be more beneficial to facilitate trade by encouraging the convenience of specialists, rather than adding more restrictions, at least at the moment. I don't think we should add too many restrictions. Honestly, Wyatt, that's what I'm gonna do. I think I've decided that I quite like the idea of just being like a world policeman. I just kind of like that. Go around, meet people in their bases, chat with people, give out quests. I think it'd be quite fun. And remember, I could use the system to put a quest out. So I could literally type so the system says to everybody, first person to find Kaz gets 100 dog coins, and I'm just sat in a bush somewhere. Things like that. I think that would just be fun. Yeah, go around and be like, and have your license and registration, please. This breeding farm here looks a bit dodgy. Gotta check up the health standards, you know. Yeah, the license seems quite cool. I quite like that. King Kaz. Yeah, can we at least have like 10 incubators for like the eggs from the wild when there are licenses for breeding farms? I don't think so, no. Just because it's WoW, you gotta think that is so much stress on the server for every player to have like 10 incubators. I just think it's too much. I'd rather lower the time and have less incubators. That way it evens itself out, you know? So instead of having 10 incubators and each one takes 10 hours to hatch, have 5 incubators with each one taking 5 hours to hatch. Not those exact rates, but I'm just saying. I think that just makes more sense. Speaking of licenses, I think to add more bases should be license required as well. That's interesting, especially as the server goes on and we get to more, you know, end game stuff. But a license, you can give them a code to give you the proof. That's such a good idea. It is bad for the graphics cards of lower NPCs, for sure. I'm also trying not to crash the server every 10 minutes. By the way, the server runs crazy when it's just me and Jonah in here. I came on yesterday and it had been up for 2 days. Every player allowed 2 incubators and the license allows you to have 5 or 6. Quite like that idea, for sure. The thing is, we got to make sure that if you have a license, it then still has, because everyone could then just buy a license. So you've got to have a license to be a, I think if you're going to do a license, then you do it, well, that's you to become a breeder. That's your then business. So we got to figure that properly out as well. Right, let me carry on with this a minute. And sorry, let me go back to that real quick. I think it would be more beneficial to facilitate trade by encouraging the convenience of specialists. I agree with that. That's kind of what we're heading to. Economies take time to develop, and you can look at games like Eve as an example, where when there are more established and wealthy players, new players are able to get payments that are game-changing to them while being trivial for the more established guilds. That's essentially what we would be doing with the admin side. We just don't have that, you know. How long's Eve been going for? Let me look. Eve's been out since 2003. So yeah, you know, I feel like that's a bit of a tough comparison. We'll know at the cinema. Alien Romulus is August 14th. Nice. I'd still say 1 incubator per person and the main guild can have 2. Maybe. We can definitely vote on this. We're going to be getting through all of that. To me, it seems to make sense to give things time to develop on their own and see how they play out first. If adjustments need to be made, then that is always an option. But I think giving things the time they need to develop organically will have a more positive, lasting impact on the server than if we try to shoehorn a model in place. I kind of agree with that. The only problem is, if you try and give Palworld time to develop, people will already max, heading towards max within 7 days. You can't give it a lot of time to develop, or it's gonna hit the end before it develops, you know? So we do kind of have to get some things in there first, just to try and maintain that progress, you know, that kind of curve. I maxed out in 5 days. Yeah. Okay, next one from Boom Baby. That name's familiar. I'm not sure where from though. I feel like egg hatching time may be a little too extreme. 36 hours for a perfect temperature huge egg. I understand wanting to take things longer, but can see why coffee made like 15 incubators if you need to wait so long for 1 egg. Yeah, so that's essentially what we've already spoke about. And I agree. I don't think we should do 30, because that's 36 for a perfect temp. It's 72 hours for a perfect, for a normal temperature egg. Just a heads up, by the way, that is default settings. That is not what I've put in place. That is what Palworld put in place. That is their default settings. But I agree. But and that's why you can then have the 15 incubators. So I think we drop the amount of incubators you can have. We can drop the time that it takes to do them. I think guilds should have to apply and verify before building a base and should update the admins if their base location is changed. I absolutely agree with that. I do not want thousands of guilds around the map. There's just no point when there's a max limit of 16 players in a server on Steam at the moment. Maybe one day when we can have more, like, if we can have like 100 players in there, then sure. But right now, when there's 16 players online and that's the max cap currently for Steam, we want some of them to be in the same guild together. You know, like, otherwise things like Guild Wars, pointless. We may as well just do free-for-all. Things like that. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that as well. And I also think we make it so, because there's now going to be a lower amount of bases that you can have, I think everybody should have to put where their base is. I think everybody should have to, even just like we have a certain chat or something, I personally think you should pretty much always have to declare where your base is. No worries, Mystica, enjoy. But yeah, we can get to that as well. Okay, so this was a comment on to Boom Babies from Noctum. I'll admit that I initially agreed with this assessment and said as much somewhere. However, after a week and in light of the discussion about the vision for the server, I am fine with where this is at and would even consider supporting an increase to the timer. This is one of the ways we can produce scarcity to supply bred pals. It helps create a barrier of inconvenience that incentivizes people to go and buy pals from breeders rather than going through the process on their own. For sure. Full disclosure, this comment is coming from someone who has already sold multiple bred pals, so I am rather biased. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Kaz, the incubator is not as bad on a server as having a dig toy spinning when it takes so many pals to compress together to fully max a pal. 5 incubators would still be okay. Yeah, I just think it takes away from the point of having a breeder. If you've got 5 incubators, we're all breeders. So I just think, like... And you gotta think that's per person. So for me, I'd rather, like, not have an incubator at all. Leave it to the specialists. And give them my dog coins. So it's more about... You gotta think of every player in the server. So the breeder, sure, maybe they can have more than 5 or something. Yeah, for the breeders, sure. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Occupair better get to work and expand in the map and create gates to other regions too. That would be pretty cool. I'd like that. Dog coins or trade. Yeah, dog coins or trade. Or it could just be, maybe you could agree on a service together, you know? Like, you got a breeder, you really want a max bred jet dragon, so you're going to supply them with a bunch of assault rifle ammo in exchange. Stuff like that. That's your business working with their business. I'd rather run dungeons and catch pals instead of breeding. More like a pal supplier for the breeders. That's your business then. There you go. You know, that's a great business plan. Okay. This one's from Coffee Queen. Hi, I think the settings are okay. I'm always looking for coal, but that is just the way I play with a gun and I got bad aim as my hands are a bit bad, so I go through a bit external. But I have put in over 90 hours on the server and just about to hit level 40. I could have been highest, but I get distracted going in dungeons and mining all the ore in there, as there is Waltz? Not sure what you mean by that. And sulfate. I know I put a lot of hours in already, but the only thing I have to trade are some Anubis at the moment because I'm saving dog coins for the last open accessory spot. That's the other thing as well. Those accessory spots will be able to get so much easier. As I have said, I'm happy to fill in any missing shop needed, even if it's medical, as a quartz, gotcha. As it's medical, as that's the slowest. Okay. So, yeah, so for example, someone else could notice that there is a shortage on coal, or just sell the ammo. And you want to be a breeder for that, so you could sell pals to get dog coins to then just buy ammo. So that kind of counters out the need to constantly farm certain resources, because you could skip that whole process altogether and just buy it or whatever, right? No, you're all good, you're all good. I don't quite agree with saying that the settings are okay. I think we get too fast XP. I think we get too many resources from things, you know, like natural coal spots, things like that. Not so much the coal, but like wood. I think all of the getting it from a tree, I think you get too much from all of that, especially when you kind of want to push people towards using some of those pits, like the, you know, the ore spots and things that you can place in your base, because that wouldn't be affected by that resource setting change. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough to find that balance, but that's kind of what we want, right? You want to be slightly struggling with certain resources, because then that's going to encourage you to go to those businesses, and those businesses are going to have the same thing, but with a different resource. Like, that's where the economy would come together, kind of. But it will be trial and error, of course. The only problem with the long incubator times is it encourages the spamming of incubators. I would rather have a limit on incubators of a shorter time, but that's just me. I agree with that. Reaper has added... I agree with Boom Baby on this. Would be less load on the server too. Doesn't have to be instant egg hatch. Doesn't even... I wondered why the hell there was a thingy flying at me then. Joda in the background there just chilling. Doesn't have to be instant egg hatch. Doesn't even have to be short. Just not so apparently long. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're all agreeing on the same point there, pretty much. Okay. What else do we have here? Alright, well that is all of the comments for now, but if you want to add more in there, I will be keeping an eye on it. Also, if you want to come in live, talk about anything, join the waiting room chat room, and I will get you in a call. Just join the waiting room and I'll drag you in. Okay. You think 25 each is too much? That's only 13 charcoal and then 6 to make 2 refined bars. Yeah, but you would then head towards, like trees. You can have that in your base. So farming them from trees in the wild, you're kind of just making it harder for yourself. If you have the spot set up in your base, that can literally be running all the time. So, you know, but if you find it too slow, you just go and buy some. There'll be shops. Yeah, Joda's just my little crafting pal right now. Okay. So let's go through some of this stuff. Got mine until like 41, and the sulfur one don't unlock until 52. Well, yeah. They will be a little bit rough, for sure. But maybe you'll have somebody who wants to sell them, or you can go and get them yourself. But realistically, you want things to be slowing down a little bit, right? They lowered them. What are they now? That's going to encourage the slowing down of stuff, right? But again, if I feel like we almost need to set it on a point and then vote as to if it's too much or whatever. Right. Let's go through some of this then. So we kind of spoke about the dog coins, but just to clarify with the dog coins, that will be the currency to buy stuff around the world. You can also trade for other items. You may even find somebody who wants normal gold, so they might sell it for the normal gold. But that's also really easy to get, and we will be giving that out as well as some sort of prize. But that's just going to be a bit more of a currency you can go crazy with, whereas the dog coins you're going to want to save, you're going to want to be a bit more scarce with, all that sort of stuff. The shops are going to be selling stuff mainly for dog coins, but you can use anything, essentially. Also with the dog coins, you will be given a chunk when you are part of the server. You get like, you know, you get some then. You can make them, you can find them with capturing Mimogs and through the trash piles around the world. You can also get them from quests from admins. And they will be rewards as part of some of the live events. Okay. We should have a mod to remove gold coins. I think the gold coins are okay. I think realistically, we still want people to be able to go and use the PAL merchants, the regular merchants around the world, the traveling merchants. We still want people to be able to use them. But they're pretty basic resources. So we would then have a better version, essentially. I buy my handgun ammo with gold coins. There you go, yeah. So, you know, that would almost be like, yeah, you want a handgun and you want handgun ammo. You can use the gold coins. But do you want rockets and laser rifle ammo? Pull them dog coins out. How much dog coins you say? A chunk, or are you still thinking? I would say when you start, it might just be like... I think it depends on the first shop. I think I need to set up... Because I'm going to technically have the first run-in shop. That will be the admin shop. So I think depending on what we set up in there... is how we go for the price, but I would say probably between 100 and 500. 500 would be if we're going to make the dog coins a little bit more of a used currency to the point where you're kind of going to have a lot of them, or 100 if we're going to keep it on the lower end of spending. What up, Toxic? How's it going, bro? So I would say, for now, it just depends on how the shops are going cost-wise. Would dog coins be more valuable than gold coins? Yes. But you would have a lot more uses for gold coins. You'd be able to earn it in different ways, that kind of stuff. Okay, right, we'll get on to all of this in a minute. Let's go on to my next point, shall we? Seeing as chat's calling for it right now. The bombshell. The bombshell. And look, I'm taking full responsibility for this. There is a good side that will come out of it, though. Unfortunately, due to me launching the server too early, I made a massive mistake. It's my fault. I hold my hands up. I will live in the Palworld server prison. I will make one and I will stay in there forever. I'll be the guy singing in the corner because I made this mistake. So I apologize to everybody who has put in a crazy amount of time in the server, although I did say don't get too comfy. So, you know, but we will officially be restarting the server. Wipe-wise. Now, I know it's not the best thing to hear, especially if you've been grinding and hit like level 40 plus. But you will be compensated. Anybody who returns... Gone, Mr. Silence. Gone, I'm afraid. Gone. And that counts for everybody, including me. I get reset too. I get reset too. We're literally... It's just gonna benefit shops the most. And I believe we launched it. This is my thinking with it, okay? We launched it near enough default Palworld. Slight things were made a little bit harder, but it was borderline default Palworld. My thought was then we would all vote to make things a bit harder, some stuff a bit easier, until we got to that point we all liked. Unfortunately, while we were borderline default Palworld, 99% of comments I got were to make the server easier. It took people were maxing in nearly 7 days. We couldn't have gone easier. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So what I think we need to do, I think we need to go down to where it's almost as hard as we can make it. Not completely. We're not going to make it dumb, right? I think like damage to the pals and stuff that we were doing, I think that was all great. I think XP-wise, stuff like that, you know. I think XP stuff needs to be slowed down a little bit. But I think we then vote and discuss why something is almost too hard. You know? Like, for example, if we dropped it all down and let's say egg incubators were 500 hours. Everyone would then have an opinion on why we change like one thing at a time. No, I don't want to do that either way. I actually think the damage we had to pals and the damage we got from pals, we didn't actually change the damage we got from pals, but I think those settings, I think they're fine. I think they were actually bang on, if you ask me. It was even like, it almost scaled perfectly. So when you go and fight a Lambo at the start, it was still easy because it was a beginner pal, but it did just take that tiny bit longer. And then when you go and fight the harder pals, it felt like a bit more of a fight. I think we hit that bang on, so I don't want to change that unless we vote to, okay? But things like XP I think need to be slowed down, make resources a tiny little bit harder to get, and just try and make it last more than 7 days, you know? I think catch rate is pretty decent too. I was still having a hard time catching level 20 plus pals. Yeah, absolutely. Things like that I don't think we need to change. So I think maybe even some of the settings we lower to start with. And we could change settings daily for all I care about. I don't care if we vote every day on something that we don't think is quite right. I'm happy to do that. But it was very hard to get people to to think that the game needs to be made harder. Not many people are going to vote that, you know? So I think it's almost easier to be on the harder end and get people to vote on what they think. This needs improving. This needs a bit easier. Like, you know, I think you're going to get more opinions then. Throwing hyperspheres and only getting like 18-20% capture rate. Yeah, for sure. What would the XP rate be going to? I think, personally, right now we went to 0.4, I believe, right, chat? Oh, I haven't got it on D. Oh, yeah, I can check. I can check. Yeah, I think we went down to like 0.4. I will double check. Oh, wait, I can check in the server. Server settings. Oh no, we went down to 0.2, right? So so from 1.0 to 0.2 is not that different. It's crazy how that sounds like a big jump from 1.0 to 0.2. It wasn't that different. So I think we potentially go down to like a 0.1 or maybe even a little bit lower. And if it's then like, holy crap, this is way too slow, we up it. But yeah, we can vote on that. 7 effigy upgrades. We need it all the way down. It was pretty quick. The other thing with that, Dylan, is even if you're a slow leveler, that will encourage you to play with other people. It can go lower than 0.1. Technically, I'll type it in chat. So this is how a server setting looks. So this would be default. Okay? We set it down to this. So technically, you could go all the way down to that. That's how it works. Instead of a server wipe, can you just have us delete the characters? That way you don't have to do all your builds again either. I don't want to make a new tune. Problem is, you're showing is you then just are level 1 with all of the stuff you've already farmed. So that's I'd almost rather you keep your characters but delete your bases. Do you know what I mean? Because then you need that beginner stuff again. Like it doesn't quite have the same effect. I have so bad luck catching luck even when on normal settings. I take so many balls. Someone's gonna make some money from you on spheres then, Coffee. Because I'm saying so many bad words for you for the catching rate. My luck is so bad. It's the opposite to the luck I had for Crabtopia. I had nuked everything already as well. Yeah, me and Joda may have went a little bit crazy. It was fun though. It was fun. And the Palworld issue there too. Oh! Toxic, shout. I have found out how to wipe abandoned bases. So, the way we do it is essentially a base is going to need, I don't know how we manage this. But we almost need a way to tell when the last time someone was online was. It's easy to do with a low amount of bases around the map. But it's also hard to keep track of everything. I don't know how we're going to do it yet. Maybe we have some sort of, like, where you put your name on your base. Maybe you've got to put, like, something underneath it. I don't know. But I can turn on PvP and destroy PAL boxes. So, I will admit, all your bases are gone. Alright, they're gone. I felt savage doing it, but they are gone. Yeah. Can we transfer gold coins? That is actually a great suggestion, Dylan. And Joda had a very similar idea of being able to buy dog coins with normal currency, which I quite like. Yeah, I quite like that. Yeah, the wood squares. And the thing is, we just upped the damage that we outputted and just ran around with a pistol and just one-shot everything. It was hilarious. Watching bases just crumble was extremely satisfying. Sorry, I'm talking about your guys' houses here, but it was satisfying. But it's going to be for a good reason, alright? And like I said, I take full responsibility. Would be cool if when you logged off, you were just sleeping like an ark. You can actually set that, but it would count as the, your player would remain as one of the cap. That's the only downside. Honestly, Boom Baby, it was just one of those things where we were going to decide on a wipe, and then it just kind of happened. If you want to see how crazy it is, though... Reaper, I absolutely loved turning your base into this. There was so many resources. I'm sorry. It was fun though, alright? I had too much fun doing it. But you want to see something crazy? You know when I said we farmed up a bunch of dog coins? This is one Mimog. That was one Mimog. You caught it and the server crashed. Because it just exploded. So this has gone straight into the admin box. Like I said, this I would never touch this for myself. But this just shows that we have an economy already, technically. I think guilds should get a license to be able to make bases, and like Coffee said, they could get like 5-digit code or something. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, we just need to figure out the abandoned bases thing. Those bases born to blow up, wasn't much there. If anything, I just kind of destroyed the support beam, so every base pretty much exploded. Yeah, we got 7 of the big like orange and grey containers filled with dog coins. And technically, if we ever need more, I can just shut the server down for like 5 minutes, find one Mimog, and we'd fill another couple of chests up. So we'll never run out of dog coins, and we'll be able to be generous with them so everybody can have fun with the server. And you might even be able to skip some stuff. Don't have to do necessarily some of the boring stuff. You just save up some dog coins and buy something better. Because I'm not breeding anymore. Never again. If you wipe the server, it'll all be gone. No. So it was a manual wipe. Saves will be gone. I can delete saves manually. I can do that. And the bases are gone. In fact, let's go for a little fly. I'll show you. I don't know how far I'm going to be able to get. What about the jump and run dog coin farm? What's that? Because there will also be certain exploits that are going to be added to the rules that I have seen around the map. But yeah, as you can see here, this was where that base was that I was keeping an eye on for a while. It's now gone. Yep, wipe will be a complete wipe. Yeah, so bases are gone. All I got to do is turn PvP on and I can destroy power boxes. So yeah, everything is gone. I believe it was Chickie's base here, I believe. The code admin should be able to place a sign on your base with their name as a signature for approval or something. True. I'm gonna be that black market smuggling ring. Mr. Silence, what's the jump and run dog coin farm? Do I need to make a new character because I was purple instead of blue? Yeah. Yeah, you'll technically just come back in on the create a character scene. So we might even have to do a new welcoming ceremony. Yeah, all bases are gone. I mean, you said about the jump and run. Oh, sorry. Yeah, but it would only be on one of our limited time events. So it would be when we run it. Unless, of course, you want to create one and somebody else runs and takes your dog coins. But we'd be able to do the more... Oh, I've never known it. Oh, that, I didn't like that. That made me feel a bit sick. Oh! My game was froze while I was in camera mode. Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I feel a bit... Yeah, so it'd be when we run events, but the good thing about this is we'll do the bigger limited time events, like the big obstacle courses that we used to do on like Craftopia and stuff. We'll do all of them as well, but now we can do smaller ones as well. So like I said, it could just be, I'm sat on stream, we decide to run a hidden challenge where I'll go and hide, someone finds me, get 100 dog coins. We could do that multiple times. Or it could be like, oh, I've added a chest to somewhere on the map with 500 dog coins in it. You know? So it means we can essentially do a lot more of them. Or perhaps, maybe, there's some already on the map. Who knows? Who knows? There's not. But there might be by launch, alright? Jonah, we might have to do that. We might have to do that. Make little hidden packages around the map. License should be purchasable with dog coins. Yeah, I like that idea, for sure. Yeah, I like that idea. Or maybe some signs with like a code on it, and you got to message me the code. And I'll deliver some dog coins to you or something. But that's the point, that's the reason why I wanted to get an unlimited supply of dog coins, so I can make it fun. Licenses should have to upkeep too, so that they actually run their shops to stay open. Yeah, true. Kind of like rent. Be similar to real life because you can buy a business license. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. I want to try and make it so it's not all complicated and hard to do. But we kind of all work together with it, right? So anything that we are finding a bit tricky, we would talk about and make it easier and that kind of stuff. Okay, let me bring back up my list. Next thing to talk about, so yes, unfortunately, I am sorry, the server reset is going to happen. Your bases are already gone. Sorry about that. But I promise you, I promise, this will be the only reset we will ever do. Ever. And that's why I want to make sure I got it all done. What about people who are not a PvPer? So PvP events, they are going to be very limited, but that is also going to be on a dedicated island, which I think we're going to use the back of the beach area down here, because you can build so far out. Look, I kind of figured this would be a cool place to build like events. So this would essentially be events down here. We could build obstacle courses, we could build whatever. We've got a nice big area to do it with. So we would essentially build a little area down here, and that would just be a PvP area. And that will, and PvP will get turned on for like a weekend thing. You also agreed in the original form, which I'm going to get you guys to have another look at. You won't have to sign it again, but there will be some updated information on there as well. But the PvP event will run, and you can only be done at the... Scared the life out of me. Yeah, and I'm not really either, Dylan. I just thought it was cool that we were able to do that. So, we're going to do it where you have to go to PvP. You're not allowed to PvP outside of the PvP area. And the PvP event will only be ran as a limited time event. And then the setting gets turned off again. I can manually turn it on and off. Coliseum, essentially, yeah. And obviously, if you want a PvP, when the event's not running, we do actually have the arena in the game now. I think I just crashed. Oh no. We do actually have the arena in the game now, wherever it is. Over here, right? There it is. So if you wanted to PvP, you could just go on PvP 24/7 in the arena. Wait, can I go in here? With the camera? Oh, it doesn't look the same. So where is this? Where does the PvP event take you? Because it's not in here. That means there's more worlds out there. Yeah, so yeah, you can always PvP here at the arena. Otherwise, we will just run the PvP events at the setup area. But again, it then goes and it will be back one day and you can do it again. Probably takes you to an instance. Yeah. Just wondered if it was somewhere on the map. Also, you guys want to see something cool? Found this out earlier. Oh! Sorry, that camera kind of bugs me out a little. The hell? You guys want to see something cool? Check this out. Alright, I'm gonna leave that. Joda, there's a meteor landing if you want it. We don't need any more meteor though. Other map and the waypoints also reset. They might be. I'm not 100% on that. But they might be. So check this out. I'm not gonna die, am I? Oh, that's Joda. Joda, I was like, what the hell is coming? Check this out. You guys want to see the tree? I can take you into the tree. It's the tree area. Came and had a little look earlier. Very pointless, but still. You can see it. You can even go in it. And it's shiny. The tree is off limits, yeah. I want to know what's going to be here, though, because it's such a small area. Like, it's a really small biome. But yeah, just thought it's pretty cool. Being able to go over and see it. This camera is so cool, I love it. I could just stay on this all day. But yeah, all the builds are gone. Whoa. That's the whole world. I think it's an egg in the tree for the flying... Joda, funny enough, said the same thing. And apparently people online have been speculating that the tree is a pal. And he just lives over there. Oh! We're good. We're good. Such a big game is a tiny map when you... Yeah, it kind of is. I just feel like it kind of works for the game, though, you know? I'm sorry about all the spam in the bottom left. The camera kind of messes up some of the live action things. You're a tree from Elden Ring. Yeah. So, sorry, let's move on. Wait, I realized I just read Joda's message and then said Joda said the same thing. Sorry, bro. Okay, hey, what up, Ace? Where's my little chicken? Yeah. I got my chicken. The chicken. Send in the chicken. Wait, what was the meteor? Did you capture it? My favorite chicken. Oh, hey, oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is my favorite. This is my favorite pal right now. I love this dude. Okay, next thing, guilds. We need to discuss guilds. Now, I absolutely love the idea of players running guilds and doing all of that. I love it, right? Great. The only concern I have is I do believe we need to figure out a set amount of guilds on the map. And guilds specialize certain things as well. Purely so, oh god, I'm getting a bit of rubber banding right now. Hey, you guys want to see something crazy? Check this out. Oh, never mind. I have no spheres. I was going to capture him, show you how much money I would have got. Frame weight years, maybe new Palworld build, maybe new level 100. That would be awesome. 3 to 4 guilds. Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a concern while there's only 16 players in the world. Just because if you think about it, 16 at a player cap means at most you're probably going to have, you know, let's just say like, you're going to really only have a couple of people in each guild at a time. It's kind of a little bit pointless if you, especially as our game's going to be a little bit harder, you're going to want friends to go and fight bosses with. You're going to struggle to do that with only 16 players. No worries, Kathy. So I think we do need to put some serious thought into guilds. I think it's going to be tough to have, tough just to be able to have kind of infinite guilds. You need to think, you need 1 guild per business type. That's all. Technically, yeah. Yeah. God, the rubber banding in servers is crazy. Right now, we have been up for 5 hours, so it's probably due a restart. Yeah, just because I want guilds to actually be a reason for people to get to know each other, and, you know, there'll be people who have never played together before. There's also going to be other content creators and their communities in the server as well. This is not just a CAZGANG server. This is, well, Joda crew for a start. You know, there's going to be other communities in here who have no idea who I am, and maybe no idea who any of you guys are. And I want everybody to feel like it's a more community-based game. I've been having trouble getting in. Yeah, the server's been down for like 5 days. But it will be relaunching. But Ace, I'm not sure if you heard, you may want to just rewatch this stream. It's not going to be a long stream, but you might want to just skim back through it just to see some of the points that we've been covering. But I will re-drop the bombshell for you now. We are going to be looking at a server restart. I'm sorry. But we need to. The server's kind of gone a bit pear-shaped. But it's going to be launching with a load new features, a lot more of a better world. Okay, cool. New launch on Friday again. I would like to do it sooner than Friday. I've just realized I'm having so much fun just hitting these like jumps. Like, we need a motocross noise on my bird. I'm a toddler. I think we need a fresh start. Yeah, fresh start, but there's going to be shops that are running. Dog coins are going to be involved. Literally, everything is going to be much better. Much better. We can do an event with that bird for sure. For sure. I love this thing. This is my favorite POW. Obviously, it's not as fast like a jet dragon, but it's way more enjoyable. The fact that you can hit clean... We lasted 5 hours, Joda. Not bad. Not bad. It won't start tonight. It won't start tonight. I want to aim for tomorrow, but I don't want to rush it because I don't want to go down this same thing again. But what I will do, what I promise I will do, is tomorrow, regardless or not, if it's going to launch, I will be live doing work on it with you. Okay? So we can get to that process together and we can launch it when we're ready. I don't want to necessarily wait till Friday, but we could launch it. Technically, we could do it on the Friday and run our first live event on the Saturday, if needed. But, you know, I am going to be working non-stop to get... Oh, it's already back up, Joda. I'm going to be working non-stop to, you know, get it up and running. So, We probably would have already had it up right now, but I also took it down on a weekend I wasn't really home. So live events I really want to get going, and dog coins will allow us to do that. And not only dog coins, the XL training manuals, you know, some of the higher tier items and stuff, we can drop them as rewards. Oh, this happens every time to me. Every time this happens. Every single time. We're working non-stop with you. Yeah, we're gonna be grinding. We're gonna be grinding. Okay. So let's decide on some settings then, shall we? Because tonight, I'm gonna be doing the settings tonight. I'm gonna be adjusting all the settings tonight. Then I'm gonna be doing some finishing touches to stuff. Boom. And boom. Appreciate that, Dylan. Sorry, what did I miss there? I missed something about the coins, right? Main focus is one guild per business type. Then after that, have some extra guilds for others who not into businesses. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. I missed something about the coins. Yeah, is there already prices for like admin dog coin shops? I don't have it yet, but I will have it ready for launch. Because I'm going to be putting together my shop, and then I'm going to use my shop as a bit of a template to help other people get started. I think that's the best way to do it. You can obviously set your own prices for your shops and things like that, but I'm going to, you know, have my little building set up. I'm going to have my little menu of costs and items and stuff. I'm going to be focusing on that, and then we can go from there. Yeah, I fall through the world every time I start the game. It's super weird. Yeah. Chicken, 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 chicken. Oh, I'm the mount again. What? Who's that, pal? It's Caztecx. He's the real bottom. The chicken's got a gun, kill it. Wait. Oh, I can't control it. Mine and chicken. The chicken mines. He's the mining chicken. Let's do a medical shop. I love running through the dungeons. That would be great. But this is what Palworld would be like if no humans were in it. Beady chicken. Ha 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 ha. Look at the drops. Did you see the pic I put in the server chat? I don't think I did. What move was that? That is the... Hold on, C is just... I'll find out. What you put in the server chat? Depending on the nature of the server, I'll either be a mercenary or a chef. Beautiful. Oh, you had the same thing, Colby? It's funny, right? I had it the other day and I didn't realize that other players can't see it. It's only like, this will only be visible on my side. So I was sneaking through, I think it was Wyatt's base, I'm not sure. I was sneaking through Wyatt's base, not thinking he could see me. And I was like, why is no one reacting to there being a PAL with no one riding it? And then I realized that I was the only one who could see it. I was hiding for ages. I was even typing woof in the chat. It was fine. You said woof, and he was like, hi. And I was like, wait, do I not look like a dog? Like, no. Just look normal. But this is what was happening. Yeah. Okay. So, chat, how many pals do you think we need per base? I know we've upped the settings so that we could farm all the resources from, so everything's up right now. Oh yeah, sorry, it's Sand Twister. It was refreshing. 10? Palworld, cause chicken. Chicken. Oh, I'm gonna have to get rid of my days move. 5 to 10. What if it was like, let's say it's not a business. Like, let's just say it's a base with no business. Because technically, we could have a business as a second base. So you would technically have however many pounds it is again. Hey, Big Toe Dan, how's it going, bro? I will personally say that I think 5 or 6 is probably enough. That's what I think. And then if you had a business, you would have that again, right? But I'm interested in what everybody else thinks. 8 as a food for the pals to eat will take more to farm. Sure, yeah. How many pals do you think you need in a base? 15? It won't be 15, I promise you that. 15's a bit too high, but I just want to know what you think. So 15, great. Great. 6. I would say 10, that way each business has a fair chance, because Sphere and Ammo business will need more because of ore, coal, sulfur, and then crafting and smelting. But what you just said there is 5. So 6 if you count carrying. $15 is overkill. Guys, heard the sad news about the... Oh, crazy, right, Big Toe Dan? So sad. So sad. Yeah, absolutely insane. And it's like 11 injured or something. 8, 4 for food, 1 for wood, 1 for wood, 1 for stone, 2 to pick up things. Okay, okay. Yeah, 15 is a little bit too much. Just because you... Did I just jump? You make a license you can buy to increase your power limit. True, but I got no way of policing that. I would say 8 to 10, especially if we're limited bases. So let's just say you have one base, right? Which is like your house. So that is where you would craft your basic needs, that sort of stuff. You could then essentially buy the license to a second base, which would then give you that same limit again, right? So that's the way I'm kind of looking at it right now. Yeah, rocks are holograms. Okay, so, you know what? I'm going to write this down. I'm going to write down what you guys are saying. Just so I can refer back to it before I announce what we're doing. Okay, so what we've got... 5 to 10... 8... 15... 6... I'm gonna say 6 as well, personally. 10. 10. Another 10. Oh no, I already did that one, my bad. I would say 8 to 10. 8 to 10. I can police you give a code to the license. Yeah, but what I mean is I can't really police how many pals are in each base. There's no way to limit that. Whereas I could actually just put a solid limit. No one can go over it. Everyone's happy. And it's easier to police multiple bases over how many pals are in a base. You've got to think, it's one base, but you're not going to do everything in the game in that one base. And you can rotate out, you know? So you've got a whole bunch of wood, take your wood one out. Put it in for something else. So that's what kind of what you got to look. It's running everything at once 24/7 that is unnecessary. Should be only business type can buy the license to increase the POW limit. Yeah, but I think that's the problem, is having some sort of license to increase the POW limit. That POW limit would then always be open to everybody. We would just have to make sure that people, like, abide by the rules. Whereas if we just limit it and make it so that, like, you know, they'd have to get an extra base to do it, then that would be different. 6, as that makes 12 if you have 2. That's kind of where what I was kind of thinking. So anywhere between 5 and 10. I think 10 would be max. 10 and yeah, you said 6 earlier, didn't you? Even 12, maybe 10 max, with powers picking up stuff as well. Yeah. I'll put both of them in there, so I'll say 12 and 10. Okay, cool. Just give me a little bit of feedback. Okay, next question. Like I said earlier, I'd say 8 at most then, since it's a middle ground between 6 and 10. Yeah, what I was trying to just generally look for an average, and then I will admit we're probably gonna settle for the lower end of the average. And then if people really do find it hard, you can tell me, we can vote on increases. I think that's the better way to do it. Latest coffee. I was picking up stuff, reduce server lag. Nice, yeah. Enough out of 10, I can a steady production. Whatever steady production is what I meant. Gotcha. Okay, next vote. Our current XP rate is 0.2. That's what you guys were playing the server on previously. 0.2. The standard is 1.0. I personally think 0.2 sounds worse than what it actually was. I didn't think it was that hard to do, that hard to level up at all. To me, it barely felt different. So what do you guys think about the XP? Was it exactly right? Was it too high? Was it too low? And where do you think it needs to go? Obviously with numbers it's a bit harder, as we're looking at now, like 0.0 and all that lot. So do you think 0.2 is just right, needs to go lower, or a bit higher? I personally think 0.2 was a little bit too high. Drop all the way. Yeah. I think 0.1 works. I just don't know if from 1.0 to 0.2 isn't a crazy difference. Going from 0.2 to 0.1, I think it's going to be a matter of like 1s and 2s at that point. So I think we'd have to mess around with it and almost go to like 0.0 something, you know? But yeah, so you think a tiny bit lower? I'm going to write it down again as you go. And just swap out as needed. Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping for, Toxic. I think that's the best way to do it. It encourages to play a bit cleverer. A bit more clever then. Yeah, it is Boom, baby. It is. I could technically, let me show you the example I said earlier. Where did I put it? Here. Oh, I just lost it again. Where'd it go? Oh, here. So this is standard 1.00000. We've got it down to 0.2000000. You could actually go down to 0. This is the lowest it could possibly go before it's on 0. But before you wouldn't get any XP. That is the lowest. So technically, you've got all of those numbers to play with in between there. .1. Okay, so I'm gonna put basically all what you're saying. So all the way down. If you say 0.1, I'm just gonna put like slightly lower, because I don't know if there's gonna be any difference there, so we might have to mess around with that a little bit. Slightly lower. 0.02 is bad. I vote 5 times. Let's do 0 XP world. Everyone's just level 1 forever. Start low, work our way up if needed. That's what I think is going to work the best. feel like I'm biased because I haven't beaten the game yet, but it felt okay. Just don't know how much to lower it. Yeah, that's why, and neither do I really, so that's why I'm saying, like, do you think it could be slowed down a little bit? That kind of thing. So right now we go all the way down, slightly lower. I'm gonna personally say I'm gonna back up the all the way down. Remember, what I say isn't necessarily going. I'm just writing down everyone's opinions and I can refer back to it. What about a 0.001 world? And when it's too slow, we can vote. That's exactly what I'm kind of hoping for here, Mr. Silence. I'd almost rather we start at the bottom and we talk properly about why there needs to be gradual increases to things in the world. Okay, so we're kind of hanging around the slightly lower side, right? No one has said that it's perfect or to go up. You gotta think, it did take 7 days to almost max level in the server. Are you able to change your multiplier for stats? Unfortunately not. If I could, I would. There's a lot of stuff that I would personally change, but I just don't have those settings. So it would just be XP overall. Test it with Joda, reset him and have him like level 20-ish and see what you'll feel is best. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, testing will be done. I just wanted to know if you guys, what you guys kind of wanted to mess around with. So I guess we're agreeing a tiny bit lower to quite a bit lower. So we're kind of looking in that range. And then again, we can always work up. If it's like awful, if we're playing and within a week, someone's finally hit level 2, we're up it, right? 0.1. Yeah, yeah. So slightly lower, I'm saying, is like down to 0.1 from 0.2. And then all the way down would be like 0.001 or something like that. Because then it's just, at that point, it's messing with such little amounts of XP. Start from the least amount and work your way up until he's not stressing. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Cool, I can mess around with that. The final one I actually need us to vote on. 0.05. Gotcha. The final one I actually need us to vote on is the amount of incubators per base. Let's ignore that there's going to be breeders for right now. What about for an average player? In single player, you can only go to 0.01. Yeah, you can. I have a lot more settings than single player. 2 hours. So 2 hours for a huge egg. 2 per player. Two per player. On normal bases, I would say 1 per person. Okay, so 2 per, 1 per. I don't mind the XP at all. I don't mind the challenge if you lowered it a tad. Yeah, I think we're all somewhat agreeing on that. And as I said, if we lower it and we're like, look, we're just not having fun with it, we up it. No incubators unless breeder is your job. Wow. Caztecx cooking. He's trying to play Elden Ring. No incubators unless you a breeder. I'm even gonna put breeder. I agree with Toxic. Damn. Then how will the Caz rental properties work? What do you mean, sorry? Rental properties? Let's say a guild had 8 people with 2 per person. That's 16 incubators. Yeah, that is a bit mad. I don't care for breeding. I ain't breeding none. But breeders should be able to do it in less than 30 minutes. Look, I could make it so incubators are pretty quick. But then that does mean I agree with Toxic then. Where no incubators unless you're a breeder. Lesser time, less incubators to worry about. True, yeah. Yeah, I'm paying someone for all the breeding, Ace. I mean, I agree with Toxic too, but I don't even need eggs or incubators. Then you have to find a breeder to hatch your eggs. Ooh! And the breeders could charge? It could just be like five dog coins. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I think Toxic swayed me. Count how many you can have per base / guild. Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out how many. I gotta admit, I quite like Toxic's idea here. You could like rent an incubator. I agree with any breeders having incubators. Damn. Breeding is going to be the only viable job then? Well, no, it's not, because like maybe towards end game, but you could also just pay a breeder. And the breeder's still going to need like ammo and stuff. And they're going to need cakes. They can still get resources. Yeah, but they're going to need things like cakes and stuff. We would slow the progression down a little bit. And the egg's taking like 3 to 5 hours per huge egg minimum. Rent to breed, I kind of like. No incubators, only breeders can have them, and they should be able to breed 30 minutes or less. And with it, just pay a breeder. Yeah, we just got to figure out how we're going to make that work. When that's going to happen, just for that, just buying a license, hatch eggs, and give it back. Yeah, but the rules would be that if you buy a license, you are going to have to run a breeding farm. So it could be the case of, like, if you have a license, you buy one, like, you can then breed, but that's all you can do. Unless you pack in being a breeder. Put our names in a hat, pick 2, those will be your breeders. Oh yeah, if we get to... This is the thing as well, once we get the list of jobs from everybody, we are then going to have to pick who's doing what. Not everybody's going to be able to get the job that they want to do. So we could do a stream where we spin wheel it. And you're saying a breeder is a job and an incubator is a job? No, the breeders would have the incubators because they would need them to breed. But they're still going to need other resources to play the game generally. And they're going to have to also sell bred pals, and no one's really going to want to buy basic bred pals. So there's no good just breeding like 100 cativas, because no one's going to want to buy that. So they are going to have to do it clever. I like specialists because the people can focus on what they actually want for a build. Yeah, yeah. If only breeders can hatch, then they shouldn't be allowed to gather. Don't want to be lonely at breedersonly.com. The breeding guild needs to work with the farmers guild for cake. Yeah. Wow, okay, okay. That's interesting. That was not the way I was expecting that to go. I was fully expecting to get most people being like, 15 incubators! I want 30, thank you very much. Instead everyone's like, none. No one gets incubators. You pay extra if you want certain passive settings cheap for random. Yeah, for sure. And I think it would be quite a good way to do it as well, where if you have eggs that you don't even know what's in them, you could just sell them as like a lucky pick egg. But if you have one that you know is borderline going to be a max bred pal, you could sell them for hire. Or, you know, you could take requests as well. No incubators unless you breed. I can't believe that became the most common, most popular thing. Yeah, you can fully request, like, breeders are not going to be short of work, that's for sure. Because, well, for a start, they're going to get... I'm going to send them every POW in the POW deck. So... Whoever's a breeder, I'm sorry, but you're going to open your Discord one day and you're just going to have, like, every POW, and I'm going to be like, max breed them all, thanks. Breeders is already lucrative, for sure. And that's why we got... You know, we are going to have to limit certain things. Do we all agree no incubator unless you're a breeder? Pretty much. As long as we can figure out the way to make it the most fair. I mean, I hate breeding, so to rent a breeder would be sick. Yeah, same with me, Toxic. I ain't doing any more breeding, so... That, and 2, don't forget you get XP per power catching. If everyone has one, we can level up pretty fast. Yeah, true. I just want to know who will be the first millionaire. Yeah, that is kind of what I want to do as well. I want to make it where, like, we have a high-end shop. I like the idea of having a high-end shop. And it would just be there from pretty early on in the game. Because you'd be able to see it all. But you just wouldn't have the dog coins to buy it. I think that would just be quite cool. So, like, you'll be level 1 looking at, like, plasteel armor. You need a big debuff to breeders to make it fair. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what we need to figure out for sure. If you're cool having an incubator in your license, does breeder go to jail for a few days? Oh my god, do we make our jail? I think we need a jail. Joe. Should we make a jowl? I'm curious, Kaz. See how badly you destroyed my base. I wouldn't say necessarily, like... I can show you. You might want to brace yourself a little bit, but I can show you. It was here, right? It's right there. That's your base. Enforcers. Yep. Breeders can use viewing stations to show off merchandise. Oh! Wyatt's in there just cooking. Good lord. I love that. Imagine if everyone has access to incubators and then the breeding guild would be pointless. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's your base there, Yashuan. I know it looks a little bit different, but, you know. Then you got Reflex's base here. Yeah. Looks great, right? And then who else have we got? We've got Reaper's Tower. Where was Reaper's Tower? That was the most satisfying one. Imagine if I read that. And viewing stations don't take away from base powers used. Oh, they don't? Oh, you're right, they don't. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Caztecx troop. Yes. Yeah, so moderators and admins will be settled over the next few days. Well, probably sooner than that. And I'm going to give each moderator slash admin, there's going to be a variety. So admin are going to be people with full-on powers to kick, ban, all that sort of stuff. Moderators will basically report. They'll be the snitches. Yeah, it's all gone. It's all gone. Yeah, I love the idea to show passives for the viewing stands. Yeah, they've all gone. They've all gone. We are going to do a final scout of the map, but I'm pretty sure for the most part, every base is now gone. So if your base is around any of these areas, especially if I already had it marked on my map, it's gone. I will be doing a final scout to make sure we didn't miss anything, keep everything as fair as possible, because although the reset's not great, we at least got to keep it fair by resetting everybody. I do be cooking because I'll run a cafe one day. I'm gonna come to your cafe. Yeah, viewing stations, great idea, like that. Yeah, I'd say we're not far off clearing the whole map. Oh, I don't know if I actually finished clearing coffees. Oh no, oh, too fast. No, we've still got coffee's base here. We were in the middle of finishing that and then I had to go out. We've still got a couple of little bits of clearing to do. When you do the jowl, make sure you have an auto turret just in case people who escape. Well, essentially it would be that you spend a certain amount of time in the jowl, or if you were to figure a way to get out or whatever, or escape, then you would actually be then given an official warning or something like that. No worries, Joda. Also, everybody, I may as well tell you this now. Just know that your resources that you had farmed, they didn't go to waste. They just ended up in the admin area. So you did all get robbed as well. I'm sorry, it happened. But it was better than them going to waste. So Joda, make sure you rob them first. They went in the admin area as well. Thank you for your donations. You guys are so generous. Oh, I got another. Oh, this is where I died. I was clearing this when I was killed by Tacos. Got another here. Over by Anubis. I wasted tons, I'm sure. Honestly, some of the stuff that you guys had, I was like, how have you got this already? Thank you for your generous donations. By the way, this would make a great PvP area. Guys, what happened to the hotel? What the plan for the hotel? Like, what are we gonna do with it? I don't think anyone built this far out. At least they're in my own game. The hotel that we had originally planned to do may still happen. The area that should be power battles only, but there is already a power arena. Oh, I found one. I found another. If I had a third one. Yeah, I'm surprised that no one did. But it could be a pretty cool PvP area. No, so there's one in this bigger desert, Joda. This is the back desert. The actual, like, main desert. And the other one's next to Anubis. I'll come and mark them, but I know where it is now. And this is why scouting the map is important. And that's why this camera is OP. Because nothing will escape. Nothing will get past me. I will find you all. But yeah. Yeah, the hotel, I do like the idea of a hotel. Just to allow some easy beds. I'm surprised no one picked any of these little off islands. I think they're really cool. Just a place for some beds, maybe some, I like the idea of having a little restaurant. You go and pay like 1 or 2 dog coins and you get like some food for you and your pals. Like some proper good food. Nothing good. Oh, you're in the waiting room? My bad, my bad. Alright, let's have a little chat with him maybe before I head off here and get all this in action. Yo, yo, yo. Bonjour. People's base is so simple looking. But no one really went too crazy, except Reaper. Reaper went pretty crazy. Oh my god, my camera mode has bugged the game out. Action shot. Oh, it's freaking me out. Hello, Boom Baby. Couldn't build much because the server kept crashing. True. Yeah, there will be a bunch of new rules and stuff everyone has to go over as well. For example, I am going to be adding a height limit on builds. Just because, you know, pocket pair servers crash. So, you know, we're not playing with the easiest thing to run right now. What? That thing was majestic. Look how majestic that thing is. Oh, it's so weird. It's so weird. If a hotel, Jordan might never sleep again. Should we get out? Phone's being lame? No worries, Boom Baby. I'm only here for a couple more minutes. Yeah, cool, cool, cool. Don't worry about my height limit because I stay ground level. Yeah, I just think it's a safe thing to do, just while we've all got to be a little bit careful for the sake of the server. And building like 20-story high builds is extremely just for the sake of building a big build. There is no build that needs to be built to that size. We got to think about people who are not part of us yet. What up, boom, baby?
Aha!
Aha!
Figured it out.
What? I hear you. You good?
I figured I would. Yeah.
Good?
So.
Stop.
I figured I'd join voice because it's easier than typing it all out on my phone.
Sure.
The biggest issue I see with limiting incubators to the breeders.
Yep.
Breeders can still get their own wood. Breeders can still get their own ingots.
Absolutely, yeah.
Breeders can still get all of their own gathering recipes. Like,
yeah.
Breeders could make their own cakes.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing forcing them to go to the other guilds to get those resources.
For sure.
So limiting the eggs to only one specific job seems like a very negative impact on the server as a whole.
I agree. I think that's the balance we're going to struggle to figure out.
So I think it should be like 1 to 2 per player with a maximum at each base. But if it's the guilders, they get more incubators than an average player.
Okay.
I think that would be a good balance.
Yeah, so it's like you could still do your own, but it would be a lot slower than paying a breeder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that is realistically, we might have to at least do it to that level. Because yeah, it's going to be hard to, like you said, to...
Because it also would make like gathering eggs completely useless for all players except for breeders.
I mean, you could technically like then rent the, so you could take the eggs there and rent the incubator for like one one dog coin. Like that would then still be an option. But yeah, I agree. We got to figure out how we're going to make that balance work.
But with that topic, is it possible for someone else to hatch someone else's incubator? Because at that point, you're taking all of that EXP away from the players who are giving the eggs. Because say it's like you hatch something that no one has got, that they haven't caught before, they're not going to get that bonus EXP because the breeder is the one that hatches it and gives the pal over.
Sure. We can sell huge eggs to breeders. Yeah, like those sort of things are not the problem. I do agree with the problem being we will struggle to not make breeding the meta. You know, to be a breeder. The breeders shouldn't also be able to be a farmer kind of thing. The problem is you can't limit too much of the general gameplay. Unless similar to how we said only breeders can have incubators, you would almost have to do the same thing of like, only chefs can make cakes. You know, like you'd always have to do something like that to cap breeders. Do people only breed in this game? Breeding is the meta in this game. If you max breed a pal, it's 10 times better than a standard pal. So breeding will be one of the most needed things for players. Let's do that. We could do that. We could definitely do something like that, where breeders can't make cakes. Breeding is strong meta, but it's a meta not many want to be invested in. If you've done it a lot, it's incredibly boring. On my main, I did too much of it. I hate it. Okay, I gotta give that some thought. Because I do agree. I love the idea of only breeders being able to do the breeding. I really like that idea. But it is then trying to remove the meta from that. To still keep that fair balance. I think breeders breed, farmers farm, miners mine, simple. I do somewhat agree with that, but I do then also think, like, you're then limiting a lot within the server, and it's going to be a lot harder to kind of police, and you know, I still want there to be,
like, if no one's allowed, if no one else can gather specific resources, like only one type of guild is going to be able to make spheres.
yeah,
Only one type, right? And for the average player, like, that's, I feel like we should have the guilds, but not force players to join them. But if you limit what people are allowed to do unless they're in a certain guild, it's going to kill the server, in my opinion. Like,
okay, so
some people just don't want to.
So Mr. Silence just made a good point of why not have incubators for all, but only breeders can have the breeder. That's not that's not bad, because then you could still, it would also make it easier for trading, because the breeder could almost sell you the egg over selling you the POW, because the POW would require you to join their guild. You know, whereas an egg, you can just chuck it in a box and someone can have it.
I think that's a better balance than saying only breeders can have.
Yeah,
incubators.
but then we just limit the amount of incubators each person can have. Because we still don't want like 15 incubators per person. That's another thing we're still trying to avoid. So if we do the, you know, maybe everybody can have like 1 or 2 incubators each, but then a breeder can maybe have more incubators, but can also then have the breeding station. So like 4 per guild. Yeah, I think guilds are going to be the tough part to make it, because if we make it per person, because we've got to think of it as a single player as well. Like, if you don't want to be in a guild, you can't then just not have anything. But whatever you give that one person, you then give however many times that to each guild. So one guild, if you have 1 incubator per person and that guild has 15 people in it, that's 15 incubators. So you would have to make some sort of limit. That's going to be tough to figure out. 1 incubator per guild, 2 incubators per non-breeder, 4 per guild. So 2 per non-breeder, but 4 for the whole guild. But what if you have like 15 people in a guild? Well, I know you wouldn't, but let's say you got 10 people in a guild. Are we still leaving it at 4 per guild? Or does that then not seem enough?
I would say that's fair, because we're trying to slow down the experience.
Yeah. I need at least 1 breeding station to keep cakes indefinitely. Well, if you're a breeder, you would have that. If you're not, then you wouldn't have the breeder. Not everybody in the game is going to be able to do everything in the game. We knew that from the start. One incubator per person. 1 incubator per person. 4 people in a guild. Oh, 1 incubator per 4 people. 4 per breeding guild, 1 per person, 2 max non-breeding guild. Cooking cakes for others. Do you need a breeding station to cook cakes? What's the benefit of doing that? I can't remember what the recipe is for a cake. Do you need a breeder for a cake?
No, but if you put a cake inside of a breeder, it doesn't expire.
Well, yeah, but you could do the same with a fridge, right? Yeah, but
It expires on a fridge.
I didn't think it did. You put a refrigerator in, it's forever, isn't it? I put all my food in a fridge.
The fridge makes them last longer, but the cakes will still expire.
Well, I guess that's that kind of prevents you from over farming them, right? And if you want to get rid of them, then you would have to then start maybe offering them for lower prices to to the breeders. One per 4 person or one per 2 person in a guild. You could, I don't necessarily hate the idea of a chef having the breeder thing down, but not using it, you know, just using it for its box. I don't hate that idea. Let's see, 4 per guild, and the breeding guild having like 6. Yeah, I quite like that. Just leave cake on the cook pot. But then you could only cook that batch, right, before you pick them back up? Or can you put them back in? Which would be 2 per breeding farm. Multiple cooking pots. Yeah, but it could just be a case of like, oh, these ones are expiring, make a good deal with the breeder. They get them for a bit cheaper or something. You gotta sell them on, make some fresh ones. But we can tackle that. I think that's a bit more of a trivial thing. 1500 work speed. I say breeders can't make cakes. Yeah, I think that as well. But they are pretty hard to make, so if somebody is going for the effort of crafting them and no breeders are buying them right now, they shouldn't really lose out on having them. So perhaps having a breeder for storage but not being able to breed wouldn't be the end of the world. With multiple cook pots, make another batch. True, true. Cake won't expire if in the box for the breeding. Yeah, I know, yeah. And that's what we're saying, so... But that's fine. But I feel like that's a bit of a smaller thing to sort. We almost just need to sort that with the one person who's cooking cakes. Or, you know, whoever cooks the cakes. Jeff does their thing. Okay, cool. Us. Breeders do theirs. So an extra farming license of a sign with cooking license at the breeding facility. Wait. Extra farming license with a sign with cooking license at the breeding facility? No, because a breeder wouldn't be able to cook the cakes and stuff like that. They wouldn't need the multiple licenses. You would essentially get the license for the job that you want to do. You then can't buy a license from a different job. Will you sign up for these businesses? I'm 100% signing up for farmer/chef. We will sort the... I'll have the application stuff, or well, it won't be application, but I'll have the information to run businesses ready. I'm going to set up the admin shop, and we can use that as a template. I think that's the best way to do it. It'd be great if you could lower the expirations. If I could, I would. That would make things a lot better. Until then, we might just have to figure it out. I'll put up a sign on the breeding facility that... it's not in use. Yeah, I'm thinking I don't necessarily hate that idea. I really don't. But again, I don't mind sorting that with whoever's going to be the chef. I'm happy to agree on some little sideline rules if it's going to help a little bit. Cakes are too expensive to have expire, and if we've only got, say, like 1 or 2 breeders, you're not going to sell as many cakes. So... Underwater powers be sick. Gonna be a resources production for sure. I'm gonna run the admin business, and then I think outside of that, to be honest, I might just kind of do the admin stuff, like run quests, police the map, run the admin shop. I didn't necessarily care about my personal progression. I kind of care about the server progression. But at least try 2 of each breeders and chefs. Where it's easy to make time zones with them. Yeah, we will definitely need multiple of each. But I also don't think we need shops for, like, everything in the game. You know, like, we don't need, like, wood shops and stone shops. So, there will be enough of us to combine some of the businesses. Not to where they have too much use, but where we can keep everything running. What does the harvest rate be at? I think right now it's... Let me check. I think I dropped it very slightly. The current harvest rate is... it was on 1.0. I think I dropped it to like 0.9, I think. I got a feeling I might drop it to like 0.7 or something like that. Lower it very slightly. Wood and stone shop. Yeah, I think we just make that as like a basic resources shop where you can buy bulk of basic resources for kind of cheap. I think that's a cool way to do it. 2 seconds with 1500 work speed. Yeah, and I think the only real strenuous things should get businesses. Yeah, that's what I mean. Unless somebody does want to run a basic resources shop, or, you know... But you think we're going to have things like, for example, the gear shop. If somebody's going to sell, like, equipment, like weapons and stuff, they could technically sell blueprints as well. You know, we can merge certain things if we have more business ideas than players. If it's low, we'll be able to make a good resources production for sure. Yeah, that's kind of what I want. I want it to be like, all right, there's a bit of a need for this. You can run competitive prices, that kind of stuff. Things in the core gameplay loop should be an exception. What do you mean by that? Unless someone wants to sell bulk things for a bit of gold. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think the resources shop, you can still go and farm that. I don't want to stop anybody from generally playing the game. It's more so like you could shortcut it if you want to. Like if you got a bunch of dog coins because all you like to do is combat, you could play without farming. Because I do think, like, there is some people that will just want to run bosses all the time. They don't care about building. They don't care about bosses. They don't care about farming resources. They don't care about breeding. So if they want to play like that, then they could run the shop where they're selling the blueprints. But then they're buying their resources or, you know, their food or potions, whatever it may be. I think that's the way the economy is going to work the best. And it allows people to have more fun with who they want to be. So yeah, cool. Well, that's quite a lot to think about. And I think by tomorrow, what I'll probably do is whip up a rough kind of settings and plans list. We run through them, make any adjustments, see if you guys are not happy with something that I kind of have decided based on some of the feedback I got today. And then we can kind of go from there. All I would ask is, in the meantime, if you think of absolutely anything, no matter how big or small it may seem, please put it in the comments section in Discord. That way I will read it and I can consider it when putting together the list. Is everything going to be unlocked on technology? Or everything else will run the same, so you will still need to level up, unlock the technology stuff.
As long as that comment is on topic.
Yeah. Don't do comments about like, oh, by the way, your hair looks stupid today. Like, let's not do that. Like, you know, let's keep it about the game and like the settings and stuff. But yeah, you also need to unlock stuff, but you could also shortcut it. If you save up a bunch of dog coins, you might be able to buy, say, a laser rifle gun before being level 55. Or 50 something, whatever it is. President Kaz. I love the idea of, you know, just kind of adminning around the world. I think it'd be fun for stream as well, because we would just basically like go around policing. I would still do like a bit of building and building the server up. I would also go around like, for example, I might just turn up at your base one day and be like, hey, do you want a quest? Like, I got a special assignment for you. If you can get any player killed by a boss, I'll give you 200 dog coins. And then I'll just follow you in the camera, so like you and the other person like won't know I'm there. Done. I think that would be super fun, and I think it would help the stream get involved as well. Because like technically I could decide with chat, I could put a vote on what we think we should make that player do. I think that's a really fun idea. I think I'd have a lot of fun with doing that. And then also on the downtime of that would be building the servers, you know, like building the map up and stuff. I think that would be really cool. What search? What do you mean? Or like make sure the newbies don't die and escort them to somewhere. For sure, yeah. Yeah, it could be whatever. But I feel like it would be fun. Small traveling resource shop. Yeah, and I think then I would also then run the admin shop where I would sell items that are a little bit harder to get. Like, for example, I'm not saying I have it, but I just might have about 500,000 XL training manuals. You know? Or, you know, something wild like about 1 million meteorite parts. Oh, talking of meteor. What up? I can't see anything because everyone's frozen. I'm probably gonna die. Yeah, like, so it could be escort newbies to the Mama Rest boss. Be like, hey, come look at this. Yeah, there's I could run a cool admin shop, sell things like gold keys, things that you can't actually buy in the game and would take people a long time to farm. I've got a way of doing that, so I feel like that would be beneficial to the server. Send scouts. I would love to be able to spawn enemies on people. And then also, we got to think as well, we're also going to then be building the live events. Can we sell something to the admin shop for coins? If we need it, for sure. Maybe I'll have like an option to offer it, because I wouldn't buy like some basic resources. But if, for example, you didn't want your XL training manuals, then maybe I would buy them, or, you know, something like that. Yeah. Move faster than your system can keep up. No, my camera seems to have broke the lobby a little bit. Like, nothing's moving, look. My camera mod seems to have broken it. But 10,000 jam-filled buns? Maybe. I mean, I would look at it based on what the resources I have available in my admin section. So, if we're running low on something, I might make that as part of the quest. So I might say one day, oh, bring me 500 ingots, and that's just because the ingots in the admin area is running low. Because you've got to remember that I wouldn't benefit from any of those resources. They would literally be for the admin, for other parts of the server and the world and the community. I will not use them for myself. I will buy everything along with everybody else. I would just essentially control them for the sake of, you know, keeping the server legit for everybody. I keep saying this is Kaz's villain art, destroying bases, spawning enemies and people. He's becoming Dr. Doom. You wait to see some of the quests you're going to get, Toxic. I'm getting you back. You're going to be level 1 and I'm going to be like, bring me a jet dragon. Legitimate. Legitimate. Yeah. Yeah, just keep everything fair, legitimate, you know, and also make sure no one is getting scammed when it comes to buying stuff, or... That's toxic. 3 jet dragons? I mean, yeah, but you're not really going to bother buying a jet dragon unless it's max bread. What if we just ignore you in game, Kaz? Will you hunt us like a ghost? Oh, for sure. And then you never know. I might just build a prison around you. But also, if you want fast dog coins, you're not going to be able to ignore me. And I also will have the power to destroy your base. Remember that. Not that I would. Let's not find out, yeah? Let's not find out. It won't be a ghost, to be a monster run into you. Yeah, also I will be putting it together some sort of rule for abandoning bases. There will need to be some sort of check-in where you check in, I don't know, every couple of days or something like that, just so that I know whose base has been abandoned. And then that way, if we ever do server maintenance, I can throw PvP on quick, clear that base out, all good, you know? As we jingle dog coins in front of our face and go, oh. Yeah, so I think it will start to come together nice. I think it would. Cool. Well, that has given me a lot to think about, chat. And I think by tomorrow, we will probably do a final preparation stream tomorrow, but we could potentially launch. But I'm not going to rush it. How long can you be offline? I won't make it stupidly strict, because I get people might only be able to play like once a week or something like that. Like, I want that to still be an option for people. But, you know, eventually we'll get to a point where something has just been abandoned. So maybe we would make it like a couple of weeks or something like that. Because if you're just running pals that entire time, I am also gonna make it a rule about going back to the keeping pals out while you're offline. I don't mind a few, but oh yeah, this camera's fully broken my game. But if people are going to abandon their base for like a couple of weeks, just having pals walk around farming trees and no one's picking them up is completely pointless for the server. Does that mean I can get through here? Max 3, yeah, something like that. Just keep it fair. Maximum time will be off. Is that? Yeah, I'd keep it longer than that. I'm not trying to make it so everyone has to sign in and like every day. Like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to separate the difference between being offline for too long and abandoning. Yeah. Do the farm one to pick up. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. And technically you could swap them out and farm different stuff all night. Cool. Alright, chat. Well, I'm going to head off. What about make a sign before a base?
Anyway.
I appreciate you, bro. I'll catch you soon, alright?
Yep.
Ladies.
Sounds good. Deuces.
I don't know what he said then, but I think he called me useless. That's pretty much all the bases now to get a good work on. What about if we make a sign before a base and when they're back, they delete the sign or something? Yeah, we can definitely do something like that. Or we could also maybe just, like, put the date under the name of the base every few days or something. Like maybe like once a week you gotta chuck the date on the base, and if it's within less than, like, I don't know. I feel like that's something we do need to figure out though, because I don't want to remove anyone's base, but like we've had like about 3 bases here that have 100% not changed since launch. So, you know, and that should be in the most exciting part of the server where we just launched. Yeah, I'm gonna go, chat. I'm absolutely sweating out of every orifice on my body. That sounded horrible. So I'm going to go get a drink. I'm going to go watch a Better Call Saul with the wife and then get to work. So if you guys want to talk, I'm in the Discord. If you want to send over any comments, please put them in the comments section in the Palworld server category. And I will let you guys know everything that's happening. I promise you I'm going to work my little booty off to get this going again. All right? Again, I apologize for the server wipe. My fault completely. It won't happen again. It'll be better than ever. But much love, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming by. Please do drop a like on the way out if you haven't already. I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you for helping me get all of this planning going. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, alright? Peace out, gang. Much